Hey, this is Jim Henderson. I wanted to take a few minutes and talk to you about a series I want to do of 3-minute video blogs leading up to the show that I'm producing called Stories from the Shack, with the opening night being in Seattle on May 8th at WAMU Theater. And I wanted to take some time to give you some behind-the-scenes look at how the show came together, and then also what it's like to produce a show like this, and then also to give you a few insights to what influences the way that I think. This show actually came together out of a relationship with somebody named Pam Hogewhite, who's a blogger and a friend of mine in Portland. And Pam had wanted to come to an Off the Map event a number of years ago and was quite excited until she found out that we were charging money, like $79, and then she found that just exorbitant. And so she ended up emailing us and saying, I can't come to the show just out of principle because that's just way too much money. And we liked her spunk and invited her to come to the show for free on the basis that she'd actually blog about it, which she did. And one thing led to another, and we all loved each other, and Pam and our team became compadres, and Pam went on to do her own blog called How God Messed Up My Religion, which is a great blog. In the course of advancing her blogging career, she was looking for people to interview, and one of those people in the Portland area was Paul Young, who was the author and is the author of The Shack. And at that point, his book was just starting to break out, and so he was still available to people like this. Well, he interviewed with Pam and did the blog, and then they were both asked to be on a radio interview on an NPR station in Oregon, not a Christian station, but an NPR station. And Pam sent me the link to that interview, and I was quite impressed with it, because on that interview, the radio host turns to Paul and says, "So, is The Shack a true story?" And this is something people are interested in knowing, and the fact is The Shack is not a true story. It's a fiction. And she said, well, then where does this emerge from? And Paul said, well, we all have shacks in our lives and great sadness. And she said, what's yours? And without hesitation and with an amazing amount of frankness, Paul said to her, I had an affair with my wife's best friend 13 years ago. And that got my attention because, number one, men never speak that frankly, that quickly. Number two, Christian men certainly don't speak that frankly. And number three, if you are paid to be a Christian, you're a professional Christian, you can't afford to speak that frankly. So I was impressed with Paul's frankness, and I wanted to meet him, and that's how this whole thing got started. I'll tell you more about it in the next segment.